I started the Skoll Foundation to make a difference in the biggest issues in the world. And at the time, I didn't know how, but after a couple of years, we realized social entrepreneurs were great people doing great things and were an incredible lever for good. And I think 15 years later, we've now seen that that is the case.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Jim DeMartini and Deborah Dunn.
Welcome to the 16th Annual Skoll Awards for Social Entrepreneurship. We think of the awards as the emotional highlight of the week, where we celebrate all the work that the social entrepreneurs are doing around the world and highlight 5 wonderful social entrepreneurs on the stage this evening. This is a night where we celebrate you, right there, the social entrepreneurs. You are working in some of the toughest places on earth on some of the most intractable issues. We are honored to be here with you tonight. You contribute so much. We celebrate you for your ability to see possibility and solutions where others see only challenges and problems. And most importantly, for the difference you're making in millions of people's lives all around the world. It's a special calling, and you people do it so well. We celebrate you not just for your past achievements, but for the ambitious and bold goals you've set for yourself in the future. And we know that you're going to work hard, and we're excited about the next chapters of your careers and your organizations as you achieve the outsized impact that we all want and hope for. And we all look forward to the creative and innovative ways you will all find to solve these thorny global issues. Thank you.
The Skoll Foundation is also marking a new chapter at this award ceremony. Now that I've recovered from a wardrobe crisis precipitated by this background, it's my pleasure to introduce the Foundation's new CEO. Don Gipps brings an unusual breadth and depth of experience and relationships, spanning business, in technology as well as finance, government, where he served as U.S. Ambassador to South Africa, and the social impact sector. He's lived and worked in the United States, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. He's known for his integrity, his inclusive leadership style, and his commitment to making a positive difference in the world. We are delighted to invite Don to join us on the stage.
Thank you, Jim and Deborah, and I am so thrilled to be joining all of you as an official member of the Skoll community. What a great way to celebrate my first week on the job. And given that I am the new kid on the block, I'm going to follow FDR's speech advice to his son. For those of you who don't know it, his advice was, be sincere, be brief, and be seated. So with that advice in mind, let me begin. I've been so inspired by my time here with all of you in Oxford, immersing myself in the deep connection and collaboration that have become the hallmarks of this forum. 18 years ago, Jeff identified social entrepreneurs as the catalysts and drivers of transformational change. those of you here in this room are proof of the power of his vision. And today, with global challenges arising at an accelerating pace, creating the incredible sunstorm that iJen described yesterday, the world has never needed you, the change makers, more. I'm both grateful and humbled that Jeff and the Skoll Foundation have chosen me to work with you to realize your vision for change. My focus over the next several months is to listen and to learn from you, and to, as Edgar said yesterday from this stage, to lean into discomfort as we work together to accelerate our collective impact on the world's most pressing challenges. This week, as we celebrate remarkable social change leaders, we also address the challenges that face us all by coming here to reconnect, to be inspired, and to roll up our sleeves. We reaffirm our shared belief that we can move towards a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. I'm honored to begin my journey working alongside of each of you to achieve this goal, and I'm humbled to follow in the footsteps of the amazing Sally Osberg and the incredible Richard Fahey, our interim CEO and now Chief Operating Officer. With that, I'd like to call to the stage my friend and colleague Richard as we move into the awards ceremony and prepare to celebrate some of the most transformational social entrepreneurs in the world. Thank you all.
Thanks, Don. Thanks. Thank you, Don, and thank you, everyone. Leadership is an exercise in making the possible real. Leaders start with an understanding of their current situation and place. They determine what they want to change, where they want to go, and they journey there, bringing others along with them. In this sense, we are all leaders with our friends, our families, in our communities, and in the organizations where we lead. But there's a special type of leader who looks at the world, looks at the current situation, and sees injustice, inequality, a lack of access to basic human needs like healthcare and education. These leaders envision a future where equality and justice and access to basic human needs prevail. They are not mere possibilities, they are reality. And they show us a path forward, engaging and compelling us to act to bring about these better conditions. We call these leaders social entrepreneurs. And we are here this afternoon to recognize and celebrate the 2019 awardees for the Skoll Award for Social Entrepreneurship. This year, we have invited recipients from prior years to present the awards to this year's cohort. Allow me a few moments to describe how our presenters are accelerating possibility. Jordan Castillo, our first presenter, saw a world where vision problems impaired the livelihoods and educations of millions of people. He created Vision Spring, which has improved the sight of over 5 million people. And then to accelerate this possibility, with his co-founder, Liz Smith, created a systems change organization, iAlliance, to reach all of those people in the world whose lives can be improved by seeing well. Mabel Van Oranje was appalled to see girls forced into marriage as children, denied basic decisions and choice and control over the rest of their lives. She created Girls Not Brides to scale community-level organizing into a global movement to end this practice in one generation. And thanks in part to their campaigning, nearly 200 countries have committed to end child marriage under the Sustainable Development Goals. Anushka Vinayaka was managing microlending for school awardee One Acre Fund when she heard customers, smallholder farmers, saying that they wanted the loan and they would pay for it in advance. Anushka knew that they weren't asking for a loan, they were looking for a means to save. But these subsistence farmers did not have access to bank accounts, and her organization, MyAgro, is providing mobile-based savings throughout sub-Saharan Africa. Brad Miles saw how human trafficking preys on the most vulnerable in society. His organization, Polaris, established the systems to capture the data and reveal the patterns behind these crimes, patterns and insights that accelerate the identification and the prosecution of these criminals and hasten the end of this practice. They have worked on and identified over 50,000 cases of human trafficking. Our last presenter, Charmian Ghosh, realized how exploitation and corruption at a very large scale were depleting natural resources and cutting millions off from economic development. Along with her co-founders, the path they chose is Global Witness, which has courageously uncovered and shown a light on human rights and environmental abuses. For example, bringing into the courts the fact that a major oil and gas company bribed a government, Nigeria's government, $1 billion for oil and drilling rights. These 5 social entrepreneurs, like all the others in the Skoll awardee community, start with a keen understanding of the present, its deficiencies, and its opportunities. They project a better future, even beyond better, and they inspire us, and in solidarity, we move forward to make the possible real. Now, Jordan, Mabel, Anushka, Brad, and Charmian will join me to present the 2019 Skoll Award for Social Entrepreneurship. Thank you. Jordan.
Thank you. Hello. It is with deep admiration that I introduce my friends Nicola Golombek and Mariana Iskander. We met at the Aspen Institute as part of a worldwide community of entrepreneurial leaders who support and encourage one another to move from thought to action and from success to significance. As a young filmmaker, Nicola spent her early career telling stories of the enormous human potential of South Africans, as well as their struggles. Later, as a business leader, she was struck by colleagues who bemoaned the lack of a talent pool. She knew there was a potential for powerful disruption. She met and joined forces with Mariana, an accomplished leader with a track record of scaling organizations who had now made South Africa her home. Together they, with many others, have changed the way businesses hire and young people get jobs. Harambee is the Kiswahili word that means we all pull together. That tenet is key to a stable society, one that is threatened when so many young people cannot gain access to economic opportunities. This is particularly true for countries with poor economic performance and low growth prospects. In South Africa, 1.1 million youth enter the job market annually. A year later, 65% are not in any system of employment, training, or education. Harambee is fixing these broken systems. With a robust network of partners, they help governments rethink policies that create hiring logjams. They match businesses that are ready to hire with a pool of talent that they struggle to see. And they help young people find and foster their hidden potential, moving them from learning to earning. Harambee makes society more productive and more humane.
South Africa, unfortunately, stands out globally as having one of the highest, if not the highest, youth unemployment rate. And probably the statistic that would shock you is that our statistician general has estimated that roughly 40% of this generation of young people will likely never work in their lifetime. Harambie's best description is our title. We are a youth employment accelerator, and that means we partner with government, we partner with business, we partner with young people, making the youth labor market work better, making the investment that's being spent by many people in workforce development and training and skills work better, and in the end, get young people into more pathways that are going to generate income for themselves and for their families.
The solution that became Harambee was a solution that would solve problems on the demand and the supply side, and therefore could gather momentum both with employers and with young people. So from the very outset, the thinking was, we're creating a labor market solution, not a project. We're trying to design this thing in a way that could scale and have impact at a population scale level and across the economy. And that meant that we could attract government into the process, because rather than seeing it as a sort of project to be funded, they could see it as a solution to a challenge that government was trying to solve.
Who's received marketing calls before? What I want to do now, the first part of what we're going to do now, is I'm going to introduce you to some terminologies that are going to be useful for the calls that we are going to be listening to.
At the moment, you've got a lot of young people trapped in urban areas, unable to access opportunities, unable to afford the cost of job search. They need to be networked, they need to be pathway managed, and at the same time, you've got to do what the private sector can't do by itself. You've got to catalyze opportunities in those economically depressed areas. And this is where Harambee and ourselves are entering quite new territory by actively working with firms that operate in our slum areas and creating pathways for those firms to evolve commercially and become local employers. We are actively combining economic development with youth workforce development and connecting the two in a more structured way. That's been missing historically.
We started Harambee in a very traditional way, which was to say, how do you get a group of businesses to think differently about who they bring into their environment and how they bring them in. And so the idea was to say, could we create a network that allowed those businesses to find young people that were invisible to them?
As a pathway manager, we use different tools to get data of what young people are really good at and find the hidden potential, as opposed to just the qualifications, typical work experiences. So we then use different algorithms and teams that look at that data to match them and to give them a leg up on the opportunities that they would have never been visible for.
Harambee has got a number of roles that it plays, one of which is as a labour market change agent. And it has a huge ability to influence the way people access work. And in our industry, entry-level work has been a bit of constraint to growth. And so over the years, we've established a closer and closer relationship where Harambee's excluded youth as a skill pool into the BPO sector.
You have absolutely no control over the customer's accent. You have no control over the customer's rate of speech. So you need to be equipped to handle that.
What's been really interesting is that the speed to productivity of these learners coming out of Harambee has actually not been any different to the speed to productivity of experienced staff. In fact, they've been more willing to learn, to put in the extra time. It's been a fantastic story for us.
Harambee prepares you. They teach you focus, they teach you how to channel your energy, what is it that you need to do when you get into a workplace. I do meet a lot of unemployed people. My best advice to them is go to Harambee. It gets you ready for the world of work.
Trying to change a society, we're trying to change our country in doing that, we think. have something that we can say to the rest of the African continent and the rest of the world.
And now the fun part. Welcome to the stage, Nicola and Mariana.
So proud.
We're going to make this easy for everybody else. Big hug,
So
Fred.
proud, so proud.
Big hug.
Yeah, right.
So we started Harambee with the crazy ambition to shift the prospect of a generation of young South Africans. We were driven by the conviction that economies and communities are not sustainable if young people don't believe that they have a fair chance at opportunity, a first job, and to get a foothold in the economy. Unfortunately, in Africa and across the world, we're failing on this for our youth. And to shift this trajectory, we can't play small. Our action needs to be swift and collective, and our impact needs to be outsized. And through Harambee, we've been innovating at scale, with business, with government, and with many others. And we've learned that when we back young people, they become the change that we and they want to see in the world.
Meet a young woman named Cindy Tutuka. Her first job broke through the barriers of teen pregnancy, of hunger, and of dependence. Just like the 500,000 young people that Harambee has learned from, and the millions more that are just like them, Cindy had to zigzag around so many obstacles on her way to employment. No money, no networks, no way of showing the world her potential and what she was capable of. It was on her to chase opportunity, to work for work, as we say at Harambee. The thing is, Cindy did her work. I mean, just look at her now. So now it's time for us, and by that I mean all of us, to do our work, to fix the broken systems, the broken services, the broken education, the broken pathways that keep young people like Cindy locked out. Businesses need to hire differently, governments need to spend differently, donors definitely need to measure differently. Can I get an applause for that? And those of us working on this, and all of you in this room that are committed to solving the world's most pressing challenges, our work is to keep falling in love with the problem and not staying in love with our solutions. So on behalf of the amazing, amazing, amazing team at Harambee in South Africa and in Rwanda, our partners, our champions, we ask you to join us. And we say thank you today for this incredible recognition of our work. Thank you.
I am super excited and truly delighted to introduce Nancy Lublin and Crisis Text Line. I first met Nancy more than a decade ago, and I immediately liked her. She was running Do Something, the largest global organization enabling young people to make positive social change happen, both online and offline. Nancy's pure passion, her fearlessness, her commitment to make a real difference, and her wonderful wittiness, they all immediately struck a chord. I had met a fellow changemaker. Now, do something is all about doing something fun, positive, possibility, hope, and change. However, Nancy noticed that too many of its members were texting in to ask for personal help. And that's where Nancy came up with the idea for Crisis Text Line, a free 24/7 support service for those in crisis. As you know, I work on ending child marriage. Through that lens, I see some of the many challenges, the violence and the inequalities that adolescents are facing all over the world. Real-life stories of abuse, of doubt, and of despair. But I've also seen that helplines, like Crisis Text Line, can literally become lifelines for those in trouble. Recently, Nancy told me that her work with Crisis Text Line is the most challenging, the very hardest of everything that she's done in her life. And when she speaks shortly after this, you will understand why. But she also told me that it is the most impactful thing that she's done. Because Crisis Text Line does not only bring relief to those in crisis, it also actually saves the lives of those who've given up hope.
65 million Americans are experiencing some form of mental health issue.
The numbers of young people are somewhere between 1 in 3 and 1 in 5 by the time you graduate high school will have contemplated suicide.
Back in the 2000s, the world was majority text, but still the only way that they could access care was either in person in therapy or by phone. So we said there is a huge missed opportunity here.
Someone needed to make a hotline by text. So we built it. From the user perspective, one of the best things about Crisis Text Line is that there's nothing you have to download or learn or do special. It's just like texting your mom or your best friend. You text us, and then the next thing that happens is you're connected with an empathetic, trained human. Crisis counselors apply online, go through a 34-hour training.
You only need a laptop and an internet connection to be able to volunteer. They are home, they log onto their computer, and then they log into our platform.
As a crisis counselor on the platform, you're supported by supervisors. And these are, again, full-time staff who have a master's degree in a relevant field. So there's teams of people behind you, coaches and supervisors. But the crisis counselors are the ones on the front lines.
Everything that you need to support that texter is available on our platform. So we have a toolbox with helpful tips on how to support a person in different types of crises, or specialized support so you can help them find something in their community. It's an incredibly powerful place that connects a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't be connected.
The nature of text is really powerful in that you're not hearing the like and the and the and. You're hearing directly what they're experiencing. You're hearing their pain, sometimes it's raw. But the fact that it's anonymous, it enables people to open up.
The goal of a conversation is to move someone from hot to cool. But we need to risk assess. So conversations where someone has the ideation, the plan, the means, the timing to kill themselves or someone else, and we can't de-escalate. We will call in what's called an active rescue.
What our data showed was that it's not suggestive to ask someone whether they are thinking of killing themselves or whether they have thoughts of death or dying. Our data also informed us of the best way to ask. So we use an expression of care model where we can incorporate the right words into a conversation and ask a texter if they have thoughts of hurting themselves.
We're handling about 3,000 conversations a day. About 25 turn out to be active rescues.
We are a gateway to mental health care. Because we're on text, we skew young and we skew rural, we skew low income. 2/3 of our texters are saying that they are sharing something that they've never shared with anyone else. At this point, we now have over 75 million messages exchanged with texters in crisis. The words, the language, the moment in time when they were in crisis, which means that we have the largest data set on crisis in the country. We now have over 200 partners. I think it speaks to the power of our data that we have other organizations reaching out to us to get access to our data and working on problems that can create a sea change in how we think about mental health in our country.
When we start to see some of the data that comes in from Crisis Text Line, we're hoping to identify some trends that are affecting our youth. So if there is a rise in eating disorders that just happen to be on the West Coast, if we can see those numbers and how they're affecting our kids, then we can also try to help our local clubs provide better support and help us better serve them.
A texter had begun an overdose attempt, and she texted us in saying she really wasn't sure she wanted to die, then stopped responding. We were able to get an ambulance to her, and we heard from her mom the next day that she was actually unconscious when she was taken to the hospital, and if we hadn't sent that ambulance to her, she would have been dead.
There's the conversation that I had with a man recently who had just found out something terrible and was in his car with a gun. By the end of the conversation, the gun was in the glove compartment and he was ready to drive home that night and kiss his kids goodnight. We got a lot more work to do. We're already operating in Canada and the UK, and my hope is to do 12 more countries in the next 3 years, so that we're in 15 countries by the end of 2021. We'll be spreading empathy and really creating more human connection around the world, and that will be awesome.
Nancy, come onto the stage. I love you.
Oh, it did? Just use that. Okay. He won't stop raping me. It's my dad. He told me not to tell anyone. And the words, "Are you there?" I was working in a different organization when that message came in. So we sent a phone number for a hotline and never heard back. We sent the phone number again, never heard back. And I've personally tried that phone number. I've tried texting it, I've tried calling it, and never heard back. I don't know if it was a burner phone. I don't know if her father saw the message. I don't know if she's dead or alive. And I've always used a female pronoun when I tell this story, and I don't know that that texter was a female. And that was the inspiration for Crisis Text Line. Over these first 5 years, we've learned that strangers, helping other strangers in their darkest moments, all by text, works. We've learned to use data as a muscle that makes the entire body faster and stronger. We've learned to expand collaboratively to other countries like the UK and Canada, multilingual, and we've learned to pioneer a distributed labor force, which is a fancy way of saying volunteers at home in their jammies. Mostly, we've learned that there is a lot of pain out there. The next 5 years, we're gonna slay that pain. The next 5 years, we'll close in on 1 billion messages.
We'll expand collaboratively with local leaders to 30 countries. We're going to build those crisis counselors, those empathy MVPs, into a global love machine. And we're going to have a juicy data corpus with the volume, velocity, and variety to crush unhealthy, harmful myths about depression and anxiety, myths that foster stigma. It's gone in the next 5 years. We're on the case. And when I say we, on behalf of that love machine, on behalf of that community, we accept this award in the name of that texter. I hope that you're watching. I hope that you know that you lit a fire inside me that I did not know was there. I hope that everybody who's ever texted us knows that you are stronger than you know. And if you ever doubt that, if you ever doubt how strong you are, we got you. Thank you.
I am so excited to introduce Greg and mPharma to the stage. For the last decade, I've worked with smallholder farmers. Farmers are the biggest group of poor people in the world, and after fertilizer, their second biggest expense each year is healthcare. And it's because they don't know how much the medicine will cost. They wait. So they fall ill, and they wait, and they wait, and they wait. And if they finally make it to a doctor, then it really is expensive because they've waited so long. And mPharma is solving this. They're making medicine accessible and affordable. They're making sure that pharmacies have stock and that families know how much the medicine should cost. This is so important. They're using data in a really thoughtful way to make supply chains reliable. And it's making sure that medicine gets to the people who need it the most. It's incredibly important. It affects millions of people's lives, millions of lives. Just to give you a personal example, in 2008, I moved to rural Kenya, to this really small town. Claim to fame was that it was the last truck stop before the Ugandan border. And I was so excited to start my job. And that first week, I fell really ill. I ended up getting malaria and pneumonia. For those of you who know me, if I do anything, I do it all the way. And because I was slightly delirious, my boss kindly offered to walk me down to the clinic. So we're walking down the dirt path, see the doctor, he does some tests. He handed the bill to my boss. And then they started to negotiate. And I'm not saying like a polite, we're a frequent customer, can you take 10% off? It was like a real in-the-market type of haggling. And I'm watching this going back and forth, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is my life. I'm negotiating for medicine. Can you just imagine what it's like to be sick and anxious and worried and have to negotiate for life-saving drugs? This is the problem that Greg and the mPharma team is solving. And they're doing this across Africa, 250 clinics serving hundreds of thousands of patients each day. Let's see how they do it.
I don't choose when I fall sick, but when I fall sick, I have an immediate cost. A woman that is diagnosed with cancer cannot choose to wait for them to have enough money before they can start treatment. Someone with heart failure cannot say, you know what, when I get enough money, I will start treatment. And in countries where people overwhelmingly have to pay out of pocket, and the drugs are so expensive, it's a life or death situation. People don't have the luxury to wait. Africa has some of the highest drug prices in the world, simply because it's a free pricing market. So you can take a single medicine and two pharmacies next to each other will sell that same drug at widely different prices. Besides that, the supply chain is highly fragmented. It makes it hard to standardize cost price of drugs.
Typically, my patients are hypertensives and diabetics who have to be on medications daily, and the markup on the medication is quite high as sometimes 80%. And it is very, very distressing.
It was through this that we realized that if we could begin to bring together all these independent pharmacies and remove the pressure that they have to face in sourcing their own drugs, we can begin to address the issue of medicine availability and affordability. So mPharma operates in 4 African countries: Ghana, Nigeria, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. We approach the management of the institution, whether it's a hospital, a clinic, a community pharmacy. We try to understand their internal procurement processes, and then we offer them the opportunity to outsource that aspect of their work to mPharma. The beautiful thing about the service that we offer them is that not only are we taking ownership of the supply chain, we are also providing the financing to purchase the inventory. And we offer them a simple value proposition: pay only when you dispense the drug to the patient. Beyond having the products available, we actively help them manage their inventory.
Xenax suspension, 100 ml 3.
We are very focused on building data pipelines, because fundamentally supply chain is not just a logistic problem, but it's a data problem. So we help them actually stock only the medicines they need to be able to serve patients that have those conditions. And by doing that, we help cut down on overstocking or understocking. One of the biggest areas where there's fraud, bribery, and corruption is procurement. Now we open the lid. We let hospitals know how much it costs to buy these drugs. And there are people who used to benefit from having that procurement power. And those people don't like mPharma.
The issue of drug availability was a major challenge for us. Today, through mPharma, we are able to get this medication and we're able to stock them. So at any point in time that patients walk into the pharmacy, these drugs are available. It was a major relief to us.
Na nia mepe wo Spring Chemist ni say eduro bi a ope bia oba won sebeka na wo betu eduro so a wo de prescription ni ba ye bi say so why test na say wunyeye enti say wunyeye a omo lab ho on be test so.
With the mPharma program, the complications of cardiovascular diseases have reduced because of the accessibility to medication. It is now cheaper, and then also they don't have to go pharmacy shopping to see which pharmacy stocks those medications.
What we hope is that with our focus on bringing down the cost of drugs, that there will be a systemic change, that even other actors will be forced to reduce their prices.
Have placed you on suspension Gaviscon to be taken at 10 mg 3 times daily. I'm sure the pharmacists have gotten your drugs ready for you.
Success begets more success. What I can do is to make mPharma successful, that inspires other people to want to replicate that model. And that's what we're working towards.
Congratulations, Greg Roxon.
Years ago,
I left Ghana to study at Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. A few days after I arrived, Barack Obama was inaugurated as president. Bob Hansen, our Dean of Students, invited me to watch the inauguration ceremony with him and his family. But I slept through my alarm. In my shame, I sent an apology email. He replied immediately to let me know he was still on campus waiting for me. So I jumped out of bed, took my quickest shower ever, and ran to him with a second apology in hand. But before I could say anything, he stopped me and said something that has been a guiding principle in my life. He said, "I was never going to leave here without you. I do not give up on people." Sometimes a life appears broken, a challenge unsolvable, but our world is too beautiful for us to give up on our dreams for it. You have applauded today, but to be honest, I do not feel deserving of this honor. Not when millions of Africans have to make a daily choice between buying their insulin or providing food for their families, between paying to see a doctor or paying for their child to see a teacher. These should not be the choices people make in a just society. For me, and I'm sure it is for all of you, speaking about healthcare is deeply personal. Today, I remember my aunt, Mama Charity, who we lost to cervical cancer last year. I think of my dad, who's a survivor of prostate cancer, and my mom, who lives with diabetes. I hope that one day I can stand before you and truly deserve your applause and maybe another standing ovation when mPharma ensures that every African is not denied access to high-quality medicine because of their socioeconomic background. We shall be a company that is built for its most important shareholders, our patients. Even though I stand here alone, there are many of us on this journey, including my co-founders, Dan and James, and over 150 incredible people in Ghana, Nigeria, Zambia, Kenya, and Zimbabwe. They are the best part of this journey, and this award belongs to them and all our partners who are working with us to build an Africa that is in good health. Thank you.
I am honored and excited to be here to introduce Julie Cordua of Thorne. All right, we could start. I remember the first time we met. So when I was asked to do this, you know that I went and hunted down in my files the exact date that I met her. And it was in August 2011. And back then, Julie was 4 weeks into her new role running the foundation that Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore had set up to fight and stop child trafficking and sexual abuse. Julie had an initial vision for the work for sure, but she intentionally sought out others in the field to ask how she and this new organization, Thorne, could best serve. She wanted to start by listening. I was immediately impressed by her openness, by her honest and direct approach, and her desire to think big about the success of many different actors, not just the success of her own organization. From our initial meeting to all of our work together since, I've seen Julie exemplify the traits that have been critical to Thorn's success: humility, a true collaborative spirit, the determination to keep building and learning and iterating, the grit of an entrepreneur, and a deep and unwavering passion for issues of human trafficking and child exploitation. Since 2011, Julie has built Thorn from an idea and that first pitch deck that I saw to a true partner to organizations around the world that are fighting human trafficking and child exploitation, changing these fields with new technologies in ways that many of us didn't even think were possible. Thorn builds tech tools to defend children from sexual abuse. They combine massive amounts of publicly available online data with smart algorithms to help law enforcement identify child sex trafficking victims. And they use their data to develop campaigns to reach and deter potential customers of abusive content. Check this out.
When it comes to online child sexual abuse, we are talking incredibly violent, incredibly young, and very viral content. And it's not talked about in our society because it is probably the darkest topic you can discuss. But the part of childhood that we see should not exist. "20 years ago, the problem of child sexual abuse material had virtually disappeared. Before, people would have to pass them through the mail, and there was a small community of people. And then, as advancements in technology came, it just exploded. Faster internet speeds, cameras in our hands, anonymity on the dark web. That is a hotbed for being able to do the worst things to a human and hide behind a computer screen. More than 60% of the images are infants and toddlers or prepubescent. And in the last 7 years, we've seen the amount of child sexual abuse material on the internet grow by over 700%. Technology had dramatically changed the game when it came to child sexual abuse, and yet technology hadn't kept up in the response. And so that was why Thorn was created. The approach that we took was first to collect as much publicly available data as we could. Right now, depending on what type of crime and what type of environment, the time it takes to get to a child can be hours to years. And data can help us build tools for law enforcement to help them get to a child faster. If an officer is looking for a missing child and may likely be a trafficking victim, they can log into our tool Spotlight and enter the information they have about that child. And our tool will, within portions of a second, scan all information online related to the buying and selling of sex, which is where a child will be sold if they're trafficked, and look to see not only in their jurisdiction, but anywhere in the country if there's any information related to that child.
When we're conducting investigations of human trafficking, one of the things to note is that our traffickers move. They're constantly moving their girls. The problem it creates for law enforcement is I have a short window or a short amount of time to identify these victims. Spotlight saves us time. In the old days, it took a lot of hours and a lot of manpower to conduct investigations. When I sit down at my desk in the morning and I use Spotlight, I can identify potential victims within minutes. It works.
We now sit today with a tool that is used across every state in the United States and into Canada by more than 7,000 officers across 1,600 agencies at the federal, state, and local level. The second thing that we need to do is we need to remove this content from the internet. And we can do that through data as well. If you're any type of company that hosts user-generated content, images, videos, chats, allows people to build communities, our tool will offer you the intelligence that lets you constantly be screening that content, looking for signals of child sexual abuse, and removing that content. The third part of this is we have to have a different public dialogue. It is a dialogue with our kids about growing up and discovering your sexuality with a camera in your hand, which this is the first generation to do that, and help them understand what that means.
The technology we're building is efficient, it works, it's nimble, because traffickers change their modus operandi, and we can change ours as well, just as efficiently, if not more efficiently as they can. It's enduring.
Every single day, we know it's working by the stories we hear of the children who are rescued who now have a better chance at life. We know it's working when we can see the data of how much more quickly investigations are running. Now what has to happen is that approach has to scale. When data sits in silos, it is not serving the child. What we need to be doing is building systems that can be leveraged globally and work so that those on the front lines can do their jobs as quickly as they can. I want to create a world where every child can simply be a kid, thrive in their innocence, in their playfulness, in their curiosity. And if we can be a part of creating a world like that, that's worth every minute of the time that we all spend on this work.
Welcome to the stage, Julie Cordua. It's your time.
Does everyone need a deep breath? Because I do. One of the most important things I have learned at my time at Thorne is this incredible power that sits in not knowing. As Brad said, I had a lot to learn when I started this job. I had spent most of my career in wireless technology and social enterprise, and beyond the headlines, I could not have imagined the details of child sex trafficking and online child sexual abuse. I couldn't have imagined it because, as I have come to learn, these crimes are beyond imagination. And that is the dark side of not knowing. When things are shrouded in darkness, or hard to look at, or we choose to look away, then abuse and injustice thrives. 2 years into this work, I got a call from 2 federal agents who asked us to help them find a little girl who was featured in hundreds of child sexual abuse images that had been circulated online for more than 2 years. And I had to say to them, we can't help you. We're very young. We just started building technology to work on child sex trafficking, and I don't have anything that can help with this case, but they persisted. And we sat alongside them for another 1.5 years while more images and more videos of her abuse circulated until they ultimately found her. We didn't help with that case. It was probably one of the most painful and frustrating 1.5 years of our entire team's life, because we sat there with them and we saw through the whole process every place where technology would have helped, where we would have found her faster, we would have stopped her abuse, stopped her trauma, and removed an abuser from society if just someone had invested in the tools that they had needed before that case came along. And so we stepped back and we did the only thing we knew how to do. We began to build. And this is where the power, the positive power of not knowing comes in. We didn't know the obstacles we would face. We didn't know how hard it would be, and we didn't exactly know the right way to do it. But a bit of being naive can open up some incredible possibilities for innovation. We did the one thing we knew how to do. We built technology that could deliver measurable impact. And it forced us to partner deeply with those on the front lines who did know. We partnered with those who we build for, partners all around the world who work on behalf of these children, and we enabled them to work better and do their jobs faster on behalf of the kids that we all serve. We are so honored tonight. I have two of my colleagues and my board member here with us tonight, and 37 people back home building these tools right now, serving more than 38 countries. And we're honored to be recognized in a room full of social entrepreneurs who go to the issues that most of the world doesn't even know about, that most of the world doesn't see. And often you go when the path is unknown, and you thrive in that ambiguity, and yet you choose to act. And that creates this incredible space for positive impact. Thank you. Are we supposed to go that way? Thank you.
It's an honor to be asked to introduce the next amazing awardee, Bright Simmons, co-founder of mPedigree. Now, I'm often asked, just what the heck is corruption? And for me, and all of us at Global Witness, the answer is very simple. It blights and devastates people's lives, and it's wrecking the planet. Now, it usually happens in secrecy, but the impacts, well, they're out there in plain sight. Now, whether that's billions of dollars stolen from countries and their citizens, resources that could have been invested to build futures, people trafficked and enslaved, deadly commerce in weapons and drugs, forests and livelihoods destroyed, and people murdered. Corruption and its impacts, well, they actually reach into all of our lives in so many different ways. And no more so than in the counterfeiting of medicines and seeds. Now, Bright and his co-founder were angry at the devastation that they saw this caused every day in millions of people's lives. And they saw a really clever solution, using supply chain controls to make a radical difference in the lives of tens of millions of people. Thank you. Let's find out a bit more.
The human toll of counterfeiting in the supply chain is catastrophic. We're not talking about counterfeit Rolex here. We're talking about a situation where farmers buy fake seeds, and then 3 months down the line, they find out that the crop has failed. People have taken insulin, and in fact, they're getting water, and they enter into diabetic shock. Children have died because somebody has administered antifreeze to stabilize the medicine. I'm not sure there's any variety of terrorism that is more tragic than this issue of counterfeit, substandard, knockoff products. The problem of counterfeiting is a subset of a broader set of supply chain problems around trust. When you go to the market and you pick up a product, as a consumer, you're completely blind as to what you're getting. And governments are supposed to regulate these spaces and make them safe for everyone, but governments are heavily limited and heavily constrained. There are places in the world where walking into a pharmacy and picking up a flu shot could be as dangerous as playing Russian roulette. In one estimate in Nigeria, early in the 2000s, 80% of medicines tested failed quality assurance. So in those days, you had 4 in 5 chances of getting the wrong thing.
2 years ago, a young guy came in. He has had 2 sessions of anti-malarials he bought by himself. Nothing prepared me for what I was going to see. His kidneys were beginning to show signs of early failure. And for a young guy of 17, he died whilst waiting for dialysis. It's one of the saddest, most harrowing experience of what a fake drug could do.
In total, supply chain crime may exceed $1 trillion worldwide. Counterfeiting alone is estimated to be a $500 billion plus problem.
mPedigree's solution is looking at counterfeit scenario from a more proactive point. We thought that if we could link every product with a unique identification marker, such that somebody can use a mobile phone to make a simple query and find out if they are buying an original product, using that unique marker as the reference, then we will be able to assure the consumer that they are buying an original product. That number would have to be hidden behind a panel that can be easily scratched off.
1624. This code is one-time use, it's unique, and it cannot be guessed in advance.
And then they will send it by text to a toll-free number. It goes into the system, and then the system will then cross-check it with all the unique numbers that are for that particular product brand. And then it will return a response, either a positive response or a negative response.
Okay, it has come. This is an original product.
Okay, that's
marketed by Genith Pharmaceutical Limited.
In very practical terms, it means therefore that the consumer in the market, holding the product in their hand with a mobile phone for free, can validate, which now makes this product very likely to be safe and of the right quality. mPedigree introduces technology that enables an ecosystem to form around a core, where that core is transparency and accountability. Distributors will use the system to improve the traceability of their distribution process. And we have retailers who use this to reassure themselves of the confidence of what they are getting from the supplier. And we have government who use our software to mount surveillance in order to concentrate their resources much more effectively.
From the regulatory standpoint, now you have a tool that actually collects that data. It enhances their ability to police the market. It enhances their ability to have market visibility. We are fully active in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Egypt, India. It's not about amassing billions of dollars. It's rather about amassing billions of people trusting the products that they buy, as well as providing complete visibility of the supply chain in ways that have never been thought of before.
We used to get substandard seeds, and now we are getting the genuine seeds.
Knowledge is power. Where the knowledge allows or enhances trust, then it means that it enhances a more peaceful society and a more aspirational society.
Technology is a very important part of how we're going to improve trust. If we had a world in which trust is on the upswing, as opposed to steeply downhill, I believe that it would be a very, very radically different world.
Congratulations, welcome to the stage, Bright Simons.
This special occasion brings back to mind a windy day in Lagos in the summer of 2014. Our organization, mPedigree, was on the cusp of a revolutionary moment. working through the government of Nigeria, we convinced the powerful pharmaceutical industry to agree to a protocol that will enable a box of medicine produced in any part of the world to be tracked from the factory or the location of manufacturing through the distribution channel all the way into the hands of the consumer, who then, with a mobile phone, can validate the source of that medicine. And we've done that before far more well-resourced regions of the world like Europe and America had been able to achieve this. It was a few hours before I was to move on to a stage like this one, powerful pharmaceutical industry executives before me, to do a demo that will convince them to do in Africa what they hadn't done in Sweden. It was as if we were walking on water. And then, a few hours to time, they struck, cyber attackers. They were trying to bring down the toll-free number through which consumers were used to do the validation. In a moment of momentary shock, most traumatic experience of my life, it dawned on me that I was going to depend on other people to rescue the situation. We began to mobilize our partnerships, data center operators, the equally powerful telecom industry that had also come on board on our side. Oh, yes, they are powerful. And as we began to gain the upper hand, and the hackers and cyber attackers retreated, they left us a message that has stayed with me all my life. Don't celebrate yet. Don't celebrate yet. And that taught me one thing. Just as there are social entrepreneurs, there are anti-social entrepreneurs. Just as we are committed and we are driven, and some of us are smart, they are also committed and driven and smart, but they lack one thing. And that thing they lack is that they don't have the trust and the solidarity that binds this room. May we never lose that trust and solidarity. Thank you very much, Skoll Foundation. On my behalf and on behalf of Cellon Brantier and the amazing M-Pedigree team, I'm glad to accept this award.
You might remember a few minutes ago, I told you I thought social entrepreneurs were a special type of leader. I hope you agree with me now. Let's celebrate them one more time. Please come to the stage, 2019 awardees. Thank you, awardees, all the social entrepreneurs here, and to all of you. Thank you.
She's a Canadian superstar on a mission to share her musical legacy.
True musical inspiration.
Global superstar and Rick Hansen difference maker, Sarah McLachlan.
Her story starts off in Halifax, where as a teenager she performed her first gig with a young band.
There was 400 people there. They were dancing, they were smiling, and they were loving what we were creating. And I thought, this is the best drug in the world.
She was signed to a record deal at 19.
It's a long way down.
Surfacing would win her 2 Grammys and sell 16 million copies. The success of the Surfacing album led McLaughlin to put together a tour featuring all women artists. But promoters told her an all-female bill would never sell tickets.
I was like, well, that's ridiculous.
In its 3-year run, Lilith Fair drew some 2 million fans. It also raised millions for McLaughlin's charity foundation.
And we gave it women's shelters and women-oriented charities, and that felt amazing. It turns out to be the song that so many people have connected with on so many levels.
Especially when the song was used in a commercial for the ASPCA.
Yeah, boy, that ad worked like a hot damn. It really did. It just
raised $30 million or something?
Yeah, over 30 million bucks.
These days, Sarah's using that voice to help charities like War Child.
Why don't we just break down the cost of making a rock video and give all that money to some needy charities? A lot of the public programs in public schools were being shut down. That just seemed devastating to me, the idea that kids might not have the opportunity to have music education in their lives, because I know what it did for me. Seeing the kids shine and becoming beautiful musicians and wonderful people never loses its allure. I'm so passionate about it.
Thank you so much. I am so humbled and honored to share the stage with so many amazing change makers here today. This is an incredible opportunity, and I'm so thankful for it. You know, I think we all have unique abilities to make and create meaningful change in the world, and music has always been the path for me. It is my great gift. It's always been a constant friend for me, and I'm so thankful for it. So I'm happy to be here to share with you my gift. Come out at night, that's when the energy comes and the dark side's light and the vampires roar. You stretch your rest aware and your suicide pour, and a cross from a faith that died before Jesus came. You're building a mystery. You live in a church where you sleep with voodoo dolls, and you won't give up the search for the ghosts in the halls. You wear sandals in the snow and a smile that won't wash away. Can you look out the window without your shadow getting in the way? Oh, you're so beautiful with an edge and a charm, and so careful when I'm in your arms, 'cause you're working, building a mystery, holding on, holding it in. Yeah, you're working, building from your secret gorge, feed off our fears and hold back your tears. Oh, you give us a tantrum and a know-it-all grin. Just when we need one, the meaning's thin. Oh, you're so beautiful, you're beautiful, modern man. You set it up your razor wire shrine, 'cause you're working, building a mystery, holding on, holding it in. Yeah, you're working, building a mystery, and choosing so carefully. Yeah, you're working, building a mystery, holding on, holding it in. Yeah, you're working, building a mystery, and choosing so carefully. Yeah, you're working, building a mystery, holding on, holding it in. Yeah, you're working, building a mystery, and choosing so carefully. You're building a mystery. Thank you. Thanks very much. Listen as the wind blows from across the great divide. Voices trapped in a yearning, memories trapped in time. The night is my companion, and solitude my guide. Would I spend forever here and not be satisfied? And I would be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away. And after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes, dear. And through this world I stumble, so many times betrayed, trying to find that honest word to find the truth enslaved. Oh, you speak to me in riddles, and you speak to me in rhymes. My body aches to breathe your breath. Your words keep me alive, and I would be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away. And after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes. Into this night I wander. It's morning that I dread. Another day of knowing of the path I fear to tread. Oh, to the sea of waking dreams I follow without pride. 'Cause nothing stands between us here, and I won't be denied. Be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard I'll take your breath away. And after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes, dear, and I'll hold you down, kiss you so hard I'll take your breath away. And after I wipe away the tears, just close your eyes.
Thank you. I'm a little bit obsessed with love. I love singing about love. I love thinking about it, love in all its many forms. And that last one, you know, over the years, not recently, but people used to come up to me and tell me that they'd walk down the aisle to that song. And it's a love song, yes, but it's about a stalker. From the perspective of a stalker. And so, walk down the aisle, I'm like, oh, that's lovely. I hope that works out for you. Never said anything. But this next one is also about love, but it's about friendship and redemption and forgiveness.
80, I do believe I failed you. 80, I know I've let you down. But don't you know I tried so hard to love you in my way. It's easy, let it go. 80, I'm empty since you left me. Trying to find a way to carry on. Well, I searched myself and everyone to see where we were wrong. 'Cause no one left a finger, there's no one here to blame. There's no one left to talk to, honey, and there ain't no one to buy our innocence. 'Cause we are born innocent. Believe me, 80, we are still innocent. It's easy, we all falter. It doesn't matter. 80, I thought that we could make it. But I know I can't change the way you feel. I'll leave you with your misery, a friend who won't betray. I pull you from your tower and take away your pain. I show you all the beauty you possess if you'd only let yourself believe that we are born innocent. Believe me, 80, we are still innocent. we are still innocent. It's easy, we all falter, but does it matter? Believe me, yeah. We are still innocent, 'cause we are born innocent. Believe me, yeah. We are still. It's easy. We all falter, but does it matter?
Thank you. Thanks so much. This is my first time at the Skoll World Forum, and it has been so incredibly inspirational. As I said, I'm honored and humbled to be part of this. I think that each and every one of us has unique gifts. We all have a light that we can share in the world in whatever form it takes. And I think particularly right now in these divisive times, we so need to remember to not be overwhelmed. And I have to tell myself this every day. I hardly watch the news anymore because it bums me out. And I think, no, we have to remember to hold on to that light and that goodness that we all have, that ability to see our neighbor and see ourselves in our neighbors and love them and understand them, or at least attempt to, and remember to keep shining that light out. And I'm so inspired by everything that I've witnessed here, and it's completely re-energized me. So I just want to thank all of you for all the beautiful work that you do in trying to make this world better. So this next song is all about shining that light. Hearts are worn in these dark ages. You're not alone in these stories' pages. The light is falling amongst the living and the dying, and I'll try to hold it in. Yeah, I'll try to hold it in. The world is on fire. It's more than I can handle. Tap into the water. I try to bring my share. I try to bring more than I can handle. I bring it to the table. I bring what I am able. I watch the heavens, but I found no calling. Something I can do to change what's coming. Stay close to me while the sky is falling. I don't want to be left alone. Don't want to be alone. The world is on fire. It's more than I can handle. I tap into the water. I try to bring my share. I try to bring more than I can handle. Bring it to the table. Bring what I am able. Hearts break, hearts mend. Love still hurts. Visions clash, planes crash. Still there's talk of saving souls. Still the cold is closing in on us.
stray from the straight line, always sure. The more we take, the less we become. The fortune of one man means less for some. Up into the water, I try to bring my share. I'll try to bring more than I can handle. I bring it to the table. I bring what I am able.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, my great passion is music and children and education. And, you know, we have this beautiful, beautiful project called the Sarah McLachlan School of Music. I've been running it and helping fund it for the last 17 years in Vancouver, and 3 years ago we opened in Edmonton, which is another city in Canada, and Surrey as well. And we serve over 1,000 children every year. And it is, thank you. It's such a great joy and privilege to watch children grow up and thrive and become these beautiful, well-rounded, emotionally in tune adults. It's been such a gift to be part of. So I think you know, you saw a little bit of the video. My senior choir, I try and give a lot of the kids from the school many opportunities to perform, and we did a little Christmas video to this next song just a few months ago, and it's always so lovely singing with them. So this is called Angel.
You spend all your time waiting for that second chance, the break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction, oh, beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins, letting me be empty, oh, weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight in the arms of the angel. Fly from this dark hotel room and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. You're so tired of the straight line, and everywhere you turn, there's vultures and thieves at your back. brings me to my knees in the arms of the angel. Fly away from here, from this dark hotel room and the endlessness that you feel. Oh, you are born from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of your angel. May you find some comfort.
Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Take care. Good night.